Going to do is call that, and Cindy, if you'd open that door. Can you turn it on? Mm-hmm. All right.
Spit on anybody.
It is 6:30 on 2 and 24 and we're calling this City Council special meeting to order. We're going to call roll. Jan Bunker.
Here.
Barry Paul.
Here.
Councilmember Villalobos.
Here.
Councilmember Allen.
Boy, here.
Councilmember McLeod has not. He's on. Mike, you there? All right. And Mayor Devaney is present, so we have all present here. Now, as I was telling them earlier, I don't know if y'all caught that on the phone, but Jan was here to get us started to make sure we had a quorum present, and she is now going to go home and then call in on the phone and act just like y'all. She'll be with us again shortly. All right, with that, let's stand and have the pledge. Mike, you don't have to stand up in the car.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. The first item on our agenda tonight, thank y'all for coming, is for participating, is discussion and possible action to approve an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Martindale to extend disaster declaration to April 30th. So when last we left our heroes, on Monday not yesterday, but a week ago yesterday, Caldwell County, of course, had announced that they had their disaster declaration. The statute 418, whatever it is, allows me as mayor to do that, 418.108. So I did that last week. It's good for 7 days. That runs out at the end of the day, unless it is re-upped by the governing body, which would be the City Council. The reason it's written the way it is that we need to go make sure we're eligible for FEMA funds if we have some that we expend. And then we are tied to, it also ties us to the Caldwell County Disaster Emergency Plan and their associated disaster declarations and rules through that. We wanted to do that as opposed to having our own set, because as Caldwell County has found out, they seem to be updating these on a daily basis, if not every day, at least every other day, and there's a new one probably going to come out tomorrow. So we sent it out earlier. I can read them if we want to.
I read it.
Councilmember Bunker is on the call.
Okay. Jan, you're there, I hear.
Yes,
Great. It's working like we want to. So basically, there's lots of whereases that talk about the timing associated with, and now therefore it be resolved, City of Martindale, Texas, in accordance with the Texas Government Code 418.108B, does hereby renew and continue the declaration for so long as it is deemed necessary and until the renewal and continuance of the declaration is revoked by a resolution of the City Council of Martindale. Basically, I was thinking we had to, Caldwell County they were going to do it a month at a time, but Kent said let's just do it until we turn it off, and keeps us from having to go have any special meetings or anything along this line. So I'll entertain a motion
I make a motion that we pass the resolution number 20200324, City of Martindale Disaster Declaration Resolution.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I got you. I tell you what, as we do these, just you say your name and then your response in the next ones. But it passes 5-0.
Okay, good idea.
Passes 5-0. All right, very good. Good job, folks. Next one is discussion and possible action to approve purchase of 2 wastewater treatment pumps. I sent that out. I hope everybody got a chance to look at that. The situation is that in February, one pump went offline. By March, the second pump at the apartments lift station went offline. there was some extraordinary actions that we took to go off and make sure we didn't have an overflow, so we haven't done that yet. And we have been, Pete's been successful in getting the second pump, the last one that failed, back up and running, but only in a manual mode. So the operation is that Pete or his son goes out there twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, and turns it on until the level goes down, and then turns it back off so he doesn't overheat.
Does that cost us money each time they go
Yes,
out there too?
yes, it
doesn't
does.
Yeah.
It does. When we had to go get Foster out there to pump it down the first time to get the pumps out, it was about $400 a trip. We made
Right.
3 trips. So this is not cheap. This is still about $250 a day
Right.
to go do this in labor costs. But we need to get the pumps, and we provided some pictures. The first pump that went out was a cracked housing and some other things. The second pump is this page 2. That's the flight pump. Oh, that's the way they pronounce it. I don't know if that's the way it's spelled too. And that's the one that's currently running. You got it back up and running. And so there's some other things that we wanted to try to go get approved, so you know they're coming. One of them is the pictures of the breakers. One of those breakers is down for the count. We're limping on one, and it turns out it's a pretty hefty price. The last page, or the second to the last page of it, has the charts on it that show you where we're at. The good news is we were running behind cost-wise for the year through February. We took a look and said, what if we buy these pumps? What if we buy the breaker? What if we go get the generator fixed and then still have the monthly fees plus a little extra for the potential breakdowns? And it still says we're going to be all right by the end of the year. So we're recommending the authorization to go get the other stuff as well as the pumps. Although we will tell you the pumps order has been placed. We authorized that under the emergency rule for health and safety of the community. If we had an overflow, that would be a problem. So I'm looking for a motion that says, okay, go get the stuff.
I make a motion that we take action, we approve the purchase of 2 wastewater treatment pumps.
And then there's more, right?
Lisa
Yeah.
Phil Allen, seconds it.
It's the new breaker, repair a generator.
If we can modify it to the requested items.
The requested items.
All right. And Lisa, you said you seconded it?
Yes, sir, and I also have some discussion.
Okay, discuss.
I just wanted to let it be known that I feel like it is paramount that we do whatever is necessary to keep our wastewater treatment facility operating, especially at this time when people are home. There's going to be more use on that wastewater treatment plant than normal. And if people can't get toilet paper, they're putting all kinds of stuff down there. So we need all of our equipment to be working properly.
All right. Any other discussion? Mike, you were making noise. You got something?
That's fine. Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay. So we have a motion.
Yeah, this is Jan.
Yep.
This is Jan. I'm thinking maybe having some kind of redundancy so that we don't get into this problem again. Now, I don't know how we work that out, but it might be something to think about in the future.
The current.
That's all it can be.
Right, so
Okay.
each lift station has redundancy. We're off of our redundant system, our redundant pump. However, that pump is advanced in age, and so that's the one that we're relying on, and that failed. The newer one that was replaced probably about the last 5 years or so, that cracked housing made it inoperable. So our backup pump was our older pump, and unfortunately that one's kind of burning out. So that's why we have to go in.
Will we have a
Kid
backup
gloves.
pump?
What's that?
If we get those 2 pumps, will we have a backup pump?
Maybe.
Maybe.
What the thought process is we're going to pull the one that's limping out and see what the repair cost would be to retrofit it. And if so, then we would have that for that.
Good.
So that if this happened again, we could have a line replacement
Okay, gotcha.
unit.
Yeah, because we do need
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
All right, we have a motion to go ahead and make authorize the purchases and a second all in favor?
Aye.
Lisa Allen, aye.
Jan Bunker, aye.
And Mike.
Mike McLeod, aye.
Passes 5-0. All right. Item C, discussion of possible action to change the city cleanup date. You know, with all the craziness going on, the right thing to do, I think, is to go postpone this. We do cost ourselves 6 free dumpsters that we have that turn into pumpkins at the end of April, but I just don't see it.
If I may chime in a moment, Mayor?
Okay.
I think based on the nature of our, state of our city and our state and our world, that TDS would probably work with us on this. We certainly want to continue to serve our residents, including educating them about what 3 cubic yards are and how to make the phone call to TDS to have it picked up off their curb. So it would be my recommendation that yes, we do need to postpone it without a date that we cannot nail down, but at the same time have someone contact TDS and say, look, we're probably not going to be able to use those 6 dumpsters. We would like to use those dollars that we would have spent in curbside pickup.
Well, why wouldn't we use it in dumpsters? Maybe they'll extend the possibility to use the 6 dumpsters.
The initial response, I already tried that. The
Oh,
initial
yeah?
response was no. We get 6 more on May 1st, we got 6 more for the new contract.
I'm just saying,
Why don't you
let's
just stick around
negotiate
and
with
let
them.
people put stuff in them?
Because they won't do it, responsibly.
You get paint, you get
It's
everything.
terrible what they do, yeah.
It overflows.
Unfortunately.
By the time you get ready to call it in, it's too
It would be a
full, and
great
then
idea.
somebody has to unload them. We've done that years ago, and it just didn't work.
Just stick Mike out there and let him monitor the thing.
All right, so I have, we're recommending that we have a postponement to a date to be determined later. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion
Yes,
that
go ahead.
Better.
All right, Lisa, you're up.
Yeah, I can either make the motion or I can second it. Doesn't matter.
Make
Go
the
ahead.
motion.
Do it.
I make the motion that we postpone the citywide cleanup, and the date is to be determined.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Jan
Jan Bunker, aye.
and Mike?
He might
Did we
be
lose
in a down area,
Mike, you there?
I'm gonna say it passes 4-0
Yeah.
without him here. That'll work. And item D, discussion of possible action on postponement of the May 2nd general election and special election. And so the governor has authorized local municipalities to postpone the May 2nd elections until November. That is not a cancellation. That is not a scrub everything we've done. It's basically a sliding of it from the May 2nd to the November election. Not only has he authorized us to do that, he has recommended that the state that recommends that municipalities do that. Our partner, which was going to have it in May as well as us, was the San Marcos Independent School District. They have already notified everybody that they are postponing till November. So we would be by ourselves. Caldwell County Elections Office has informed us that they want to follow the state guidelines, and they don't want to do it in May. And so it is our recommendation that we postpone both the general election and the special election until the November 2020 uniform election date.
I can't hear you guys, so I don't know if you can still hear me.
Yes, we can. So we lost Mike, and he's trying to patch it, and while it patches, everybody goes on hold for a brief second. And he's not able to patch it.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we postpone the general and special election move it to the next uniform election date occurring on November 3rd.
I'll
I'll
second.
second it. Lisa Show Allen seconds it.
Okay. Now, before we get past that, we did have the time to rewrite the ordinances. The general election requires an ordinance. Am I saying that right?
That's right. So what we need is, we don't need a motion for the general and the special. We just need a motion to pass ordinance number 2020-0204. That if passed, will move council place 1, 3, and 4 elections to November, and then Rob will sign an order moving the special election on the disannexation of that same day.
May I say something to that? Actually, it's ordinance 2020-03-24. That was not changed from that chamber, so
Sorry.
we'll correct that.
Okay. So that's really what we need to have a motion for.
I would like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 2020. It's
20-03.
Tell
20-03-24.
Mike you did it.
All right, so Sonia makes that motion to,
It's a movement of, Mike, we're moving the election to November. That's what we're talking about. Sonia made the motion. I'll second the motion.
okay, so we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mike?
Lisa Show Allen, aye.
Dan Bumper, aye.
All right, and Mike?
I lost you guys for a while. What was the action item?
Rob.
We've got a motion to change the general election to November as recommended by the
Okay,
state.
I vote aye.
There you go.
Good.
So,
Elections is term 6 months.
That's right.
and so the motion carries 5-0. And that is the end of today's agenda. So now we need a motion to adjourn.
Do we have anything for upcoming?
We have it on the 7th, but
Can I ask you a question?
I think it's not on the agenda for future things.
What is it we want?
She wants to ask a question. I guess we can.
About future items.
I'd like to hear the question.
I just want to know about like our residents and cutoffs for utilities. With this that's happening and everything, are we gonna have cutoffs for residents if they cannot pay their bill, if they don't have means to pay their bill?
Mayor, I have something on that. I just forwarded you something that I got late this evening from TML that I think you need to read before you answer.
Okay, I don't know,
Okay.
your question is gonna have to be postponed to have a definitive answer. I will share with the situations that's going on. We, of course, sent out bills normally on 3/15. We also sent them out on 2/15. The 2/15 payments, long before any of this came about, were due early March. Their 9-day, if they didn't pay by whatever the due date was, they got that 9-day window of, hey, you're late, come in and pay. And that ended today. We were down to 3.
3.
I think we had three residents that fell into the category of shut off, and we did turn them in to get shut off.
You turn in to be shut off?
You still have though, if you come in first thing in the morning.
All right.
Now, the next go-round will be under whatever instructions.
That's our ordinance, though. That's our policy.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, we hadn't stopped that. And it's for a couple of reasons. Number one is this was for bills that were due in February, and as opposed to the March bill, and this all came about since then, so we didn't stop it at that point in time. But based on the guidance that keeps coming in hourly, we'll see what happens.
I'd like to share a concern that for our office personnel, what are we doing to protect office personnel?
Okay, so we recognized after the 14th that we went to what we referred to as level 2. Urged everybody to be, if you're concerned, to shelter or to self-quarantine, basically stay away, which is fine. We needed to go do that. The next level is level 3. As of the report today, we still had no confirmed cases in Guadalupe County. There were some things on the news yesterday, oh my God, it's going to be there, etc., but they aren't on there yet. And none in Caldwell County, although as the emergency people say they have some people there watching, it's kind of like Jan, they maybe not, who knows, we're just watching them. So we have not gone to a level 3 yet. However, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, Caldwell County is called a meeting to talk about upping their level. They went from nothing to a gathering of 250 to a gathering of 50 to a gathering of 10. We're now going to talk about the next level of that. If that comes about tomorrow, then we're prepared to declare we're at level 3, whether we want to be there or not. And at that point in time, we will shutter the doors and run city operations out of the drop boxes.
Okay.
We had a meeting on that yesterday with all the city staff, and nobody complained about that. They're all say that that's a good plan. They're working with that. This thing tomorrow may have some dramatic effects on what we're doing from around the city. It may dictate that we have to shut down the parks and put up a park is closed sign, which people are not doing. It may have impacts on today. I watched a family of a husband and a wife and a little kid heading with their fishing poles down to the river. This thing that they're proposing tomorrow is probably going to shut that down. You can't do that. Walking the streets to just get exercise. Austin says it's okay. Williamson County says it's not. We got to go figure out what Caldwell County is going to say. So there's a lot of things up in the air that will come out tomorrow afternoon. And as soon as I got more definition, I'll share it with the council and the rest of the world. If all that happens and we say we're effectively gone to level 3, our plan on level 3 was a direct mailer announcing that to the community. And so with that, we will specify some of these, we will tell them the specifics that come out of this order that potentially covers the county. So it's very fluid, as I pointed out to Carol when I went home here a little while ago. I said every day I walk in and it's just something else has popped up. So I know it's frustrating for people not to see it. The best thing that don't know everything that's going on, and I'm trying to share it with everybody. But one thing that has happened, the water department, they shuttered their doors today. They're running all out of their drop boxes. So.
Right.
If I may, Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Lisa Joe Allen, just wanted to, I'm not sure if anybody is aware, and you may have said it, you're breaking up a little bit for me, but I was informed that New Braunfels today did enact their stay-at-home order.
Shelter in place.
That may be true. I don't know. Okay. Yeah.
I personally think that we need to I know we're not quite there yet, but it would make me feel better as a resident, not to mention as a council member, that we are preparing to go that way so that we are not on the back side of it.
I don't think we're on the back side of it. I think we're following what the structure that we put in place, which is because we're small, we latched on to the Caldwell County Emergency Management Plan, and I trust Hoppy and the guys that they are. I think they've taken prudent steps. They've been out in front of the state up to the point in time they went to 10, and they matched that. And what Abbott said yesterday was he was leaving that up to the counties, this lockdown process, and I think we're doing the right thing, in my opinion.
Mayor, so the 3 people that you were talking about that may be affected, what services are going to be shut off?
Water.
We can't do that. We can't do that. I know we got an ordinance right now going on, but we cannot shut off their water. We can't, even though there's an ordinance in place or whatever, we cannot turn off anybody's water right now.
I think in this kind of situation, just like I was talking about,
There is,
A conversation outside the meeting?
You need to read that email because it'll give you instructions there.
Let me read that and we'll see. So,
Get with him after the meeting, or after he reads it, Sonia. I appreciate you.
Well, while we're talking about procedures, we are, as we discussed at the beginning, able to go to a video or teleconference. There are solutions out there. We plan to have one in place for our regularly scheduled meeting in April. We'd like to go around with the council members to confirm whether they have, you know, a computer with a webcam with high-speed internet that would enable video, or if we need to go to a telephone-based system.
Well, I don't know if I have high speed.
Zoom is the word.
Yes, I like Zoom.
I don't trust Spectrum.
That's who I have is Spectrum as far as internet. So I don't know if it's called high speed or not. How do you know?
It likely is nowadays, but if you're not using your telephone company, and you're using a TV, internet, phone bundler, it's likely high speed.
I do.
Okay.
But also-
My internet drops in and out at night like crazy.
Uh-huh. Mine does too. I'm with you on that.
Mine's Spectrum, mine's all that new fiber, that cable they laid, and it does exactly what Top's saying, it goes in and out.
So
Okay.
we do it by phone?
Yes.
But I can do a video on phone, right?
Well, the
Like
Zoom,
You
it's
should be
a
able to-
Zoom app.
FaceTime?
What you have to be able to do, and the easiest way to do it, is you can do it through free conference call, which you have to post the method of accessing the meeting on the notice. And so if you put a call-in number on the meeting, this has to be something that is easily and generally acceptable, not only by the council and the staff of the city, but also by citizens. So I think the easiest way to do that is through a conference call. It's certainly not desirable.
But see, like on Zoom, like say you would create the meeting and then you would send out the email link, like you could put even the link on our city webpage, and then people would just click on that link and you would join the meeting at whatever time it is, and you're able to chat back and forth. There's a chat option, and it's also recorded, so that would take place of the, you could also be recorded.
Right, and
it's
Zoom and others like GoToMeeting provide a option to call in through a telephone line or through
a
a web
computer.
app on your computer. I wanted to kind of judge if nobody has access to the computer to do it that way, then I would call the phone company and get a conference line with AT&T. But if we want to go with, if people have the capability, I think there's a benefit of having that
I assume I
face to
do.
face on a video conference.
Yeah, on the Zoom, you're able to see the face. Once the person is talking, the camera automatically turns to that person that is talking. But it's, if whoever's running the meeting there, it's on their face, and as soon as somebody has a comment, then it goes to their face. So you're able to see who all's at the meeting.
So, it sounds like you have capability. Lisa, do you have capability for video conferencing on your computer?
yes, I do. And there's several options.
Right, and then
Yes, there are. What Civics Plus? This is Jan. Civics Plus has something too. Have you looked into that?
the Civic Plus option was for, they're offering free live streaming, but it's not a conferencing feature. So basically it would be similar to what we do, what we have a volunteer that provides it over Facebook. It's a similar sort of thing, but it'd be through our website instead, on a 90-day trial basis.
And then
Well, but if they're willing to set us up, and that includes audio and visual equipment,
No.
I don't know why we would not
That's not.
at least try it.
Zoom is just easier. You just download the app. It's
Right.
free. like I was able to, I've done meetings this week with that, and it was very easy.
Yeah.
And even with our service here in Martindale, I didn't have any interruptions.
Well, I'd like to do a practice
Right.
before the meeting to make sure that it is practical. Maybe you could have a time just for us to at least just conference in till we go, okay, it's working, I'm working, and then we're done.
Okay.
Can we
Yeah,
do
you
something
definitely
like
need to do that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if we,
At least Zoom's what we use.
Yeah, we used
When
it.
you and I-
We were working on the website. I have G Suite.
Yeah.
I use Google Google Video, where you can actually share computer screens back and forth. So therefore you could get visuals.
Yeah, but we want to do a group. I'm not sure you can do a group on all those
Okay.
without an extra
So-
call.
Sounds to me
so,
like
so,
Yes, you can.
so
Yes, you
I
can.
guess the consensus I'm
Okay,
hearing
okay.
is we need to try to do it with video, et cetera. I want everybody to understand that Jared's already called Spectrum to see if they can go handle video teleconferencing, not video teleconferencing, just teleconferencing, and the answer was no. So there is some hardware and some connections that are going to have to be made. If we travel down this road and find out that this doesn't work, the 7th could be in jeopardy. So just be aware. I don't have any problem with rolling the dice on that, but just be aware that that's the decision we're making here.
Right, so what it would be is the council members, the governing body would meet from their own separate locations instead of a central location. So your home office, as an example. And so there wouldn't need to be equipped for that setup. We wouldn't need equipment in the city council chambers because nobody would be here. But if we did a video live streaming, we probably would need to or want to consider getting equipment that would support that. Or if we're doing another one of these phone conference like this with half in person, half not, we probably want to consider getting a Polycom type of conference phone for the table, so we're not using.
But this is they've allowed this only during this pandemic, not as a regular thing. So I don't think we'll spend money on it if it's not something we would do on a regular basis.
Well, having a teleconferencing phone would help.
We need to come up to speed. We need to get into this century.
That is a tried and true thing, and we've had opportunities to use that because we didn't have it. We didn't use it, but it would help to have that capability. There's other stuff.
We definitely need it.
We're reaching out past our.
What's the cost on those kind of things? Does anybody know? Well, we need to have a discussion.
It's within the purchasing
It's on our
policy
agenda.
that we could do it without council approval.
Okay.
Anyway, all right. So we got our marching orders. We know what to try to go do.
I'll make a motion have we already done that?
No,
That
we have not.
adjourn?
Please do.
Oh, okay.
All right, Mary moves to adjourn.
I'll second.
Sonia seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
With
opposed?
Michelle Allen, aye.
Any opposed?
Dan Dunker, aye.
And Mike dropped off.
Okay. Passes 4-0.
Bye, guys. Stay
Thank you.
safe. Bye.
Thank y'all. Be careful.
All right, Dan signing out. Over
Yeah.
and out.
Over and out.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
What's the gist of this thing,
We have to read our ordinances, and it has to go through council, it has,
To violate the ordinance? That's what TML said.
But
Have
how
to,
come
like-
it's TML, how come I'm seeing so many communities that are waiving their, they're
Well-
using, because like of an emergency?
Can you print that off?
as a matter of fact, that's what I do.
Yeah.
You have to bring it up, hold on.
Yeah, I would.
I'm trying to remember exactly all that it said.
the overall. You can choose when you do or do not enforce it, but that's not with prejudice to your future right to enforce it. When we get to the end of 3 months,
Not like turning off You're looking at a very large movement. That's very tough. I agree with the mayor that you're almost doing them a service by letting them go on like that. You're doing them a service by putting the fire under the butt.
I hear about the one then, but what about the other one? Like I was asking, are they elderly people, or their families, or are they small children, or the people that can't get right now? They're fine.
Some have families, some are elderly, some are young, it's, you know.
So, that might be what they're
Right now, we don't have, you know, like, I can really get her all, senior citizens.
But like, is there any way that, like, anybody from the office would be able, or somebody would be able to reach out to them? And
We have that.
We do that, we do that.
I mean, the list was back well.
No, this is straight line.
So carpentry is on the check for all the calls.
And a lot of them, Sonia, a lot of them are because there are a couple of still coming. There's some that just, oh, I guess not. But we see the ones that we think are senior citizens, those are the ones that we hear, they're here and they're thankful they don't have to pay on, is the other ones that don't have their social security for the lack of way of
Just as long, you know, if it's like that, and if we do have some means of, for them to, paperwork to fill out, and, you know, kind of like if you can look at it, like a case by case, because I would hate for somebody's water to be turned off to their services, and then it's all over wherever, you know.
I can tell you this much. You're seeing it from the outside. Because we do see it like this. We do, I mean, we do have families that come in. We will call them up and say, hey, so, this is.
I'm probably one of them, so, you know, I get the calls because, you know,
we do things like this. And the people that we can actually have to come in to fill out certain paperwork, I mean, those are the ones that open up to us.
And see, I'm just seeing, because, you know, right now it's more prevalent in the news, how, you know, even I think San Marcos said there will not be any disconnections or any interruption in services during this time. And that's, you know, what's put on their webpage. I know I've seen in other communities as well. And I was just wondering if Martindale was going to be doing anything like that, or we just going to be doing business as usual.
If there's a job loss, the work at local restaurants, about hours, yeah, we'll work it. Especially if it's happened, yeah, there's a little period in February, but then they're really paid late, so that's kind of what they do, and then all of a sudden hours got cut, and now they're in our spot, then we might be able to do something there. But they have to come in and have a conversation with us on, you know, conversation, just let us know what's going on, and to ask for those considerations, right? Because we're not going to.
I don't think we've met the statutory requirements for you to waive what's done. Because you first have to show that you can't comply. And we can't show that we can't comply. There's not evidence there to you that we can't comply. With whatever it is, that you're waiving, you're paying us something. So it's under 4181075, it says, the deadline imposed by local law, which is an ordinance, budget or ad valorem tax, it's suspended, yeah. And then it also gives the presiding officer the ability to suspend. Again, you gotta show that you can't apply.
And, like you're saying, like for people, like say, it could be tomorrow that it is, it could be next month that it is. But is there gonna be something somewhere that says it, or are people just gonna automatically know to come in and to say it?
I haven't reviewed these twice. One of the disconnect letters that we sent folks.
It says there.
They're all orange paper.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree with you, might get a black eye.
But I mean, it's more than that. It's about and I get it, I'm hearing about the person, but it's more about, like the people in our community. And we're going through a pandemic and like,
I think the city is willing to work with it.
okay, good.
But we're not just gonna leave it carte blanche without.
I got you.
Yeah.
Which
That wouldn't make sense.
No, it wouldn't. So I could just see like, they would still have to take it once they're able to, but it's not just like wiped away, but I just think like at this time, during this time right now, that we should. But that's just me.
They can come and have a conversation.
Good.
If they get cut off, if they can't pay it right then.
Send them over to Miss B. Lobel's house, get some water and take it back.
But anyway, back to you, I think I want to get credit.
Am I on the list? What do you think? Am I?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
See, I told you, I'm not one of the ones. Let me pay it. I'll bring it in for thing.
Because you haven't gotten cut off yet, right?
I didn't even get a call. I didn't get a call.
This is different than.
Because the reason you didn't get a call is because she's still March. I remember her saying March.
We're the ones.
You're it.
So there's only
No.
two on the list.
Hey, if you're having, honestly, if you're, not getting a paycheck, you're furloughed with the school.
No,
Or you're
no.
not,
I'm gonna get on that, man. I'm gonna be off on advocating. We're on the damn list.
What?
Lord Jesus. I'm gonna call that man.
Did y'all watch the show Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yes.
Okay, so what, the main character, Larry David created Seinfeld. And after I was done with Seinfeld, he created a show where
HBO or something.
it's on HBO. In the show, Larry David is himself, but an exaggerated form. And so he's got this feud with this guy named Mocha Joe who has a coffee shop. So Larry opens up a competing coffee shop right next door called Latte Larry's. And so this struck with me because you said people could come to your house and they could pick out drink water. But in Curb Your Enthusiasm, Latte Larry's is a defecation-free zone. You can do it, but you cannot defecate in Latte Larry's.
You're not going
So,
there.
in your house, you can go to Sony's and get a drink of water, you can take a bath, but you may not use the restroom.
No, and you know what? Let me tell you this, man. I told him, go get the toilet paper at the custodial supply thing. Guess how many toilet papers he comes home with? We have 3 cases of 96 rolls each. I was like,
you know what? You sell them.
I was like,
You can pay, and then you can pay your.
No price
have
tag,
it.
no. I'll put it.
hey, I'm gonna pay you a toilet paper roll.
There you go.
Now, you realize that under the government code, municipalities must have a plan for price stabilization methods in the event of a disaster.
No, I already called family. I said, why did you come home? The car is filled with that many. Lord Jesus, let me go talk to this man. Well, for the other 2, if they really need help.
They can come in.
Good. Okay. We're straight. Someone will get in that.
But if they're coming in and saying, oh shucks, I forgot, wish you hadn't turned me off. I mean, how much we can do on that, because, hey, I lost my
Well,
job.
we can pay online too.
The problem is with online, I'm trying to figure out a way to get this fixed. It doesn't show the bill, the amount due. You have to know the amount due and type it in. Because that, I think, is, I'm not sure if these people typically pay online, but if it was me, I could see myself really paying online.
$3% fee.
Sometimes you can do a ACH clearinghouse, agent information, that way.
Or automated. I love automated. All my bills that are automated are on time because they come out automatically. It's a thing that's not automated. But I was gonna tell you, Foodbank sent me another message. I'm trying to get with the 501(c)(3). I can't make anything happen without somebody having that. But they can go to any distribution in San Marcos or to any drive-through at Raptor Stadium. Another thing that I'm trying to also work on is like with the food distribution for the schools, is bringing something here to Martindale for free.
So for that, what do they usually get a place to set up, or do they just come in?
Well, I talked to my principal and I told her like if needed, I would even go pick up the snack lunches or whatever and set them up somewhere.
That's where people
You
with
just set them
assistance.
up over, you know. Yeah.
The issue is San Marcos is all free lunch, free breakfast.
The whole school,
Yes.
everybody.
Yes.
And they decided to cost them trying to keep track of the small percentage. Now.
So literally, if you walk in, no one pays for lunch.
No.
That's amazing, no place for breakfast. Yeah, they pay twice a day. So.
Just here at school or the whole school?
All of the schools.
Yeah, 18 and under.
And so,
So they'll get
this
held back.
problem came up with Adler sent this message to the governor saying, okay, schools are shut down. Now all these kids are usually get fed at school, right? We gotta go, we gotta keep feeding them, right? Their mom and dad, they don't budget this, it's all free, right? So, school district said, okay, we're gonna keep this up. So they kept the kitchens open in the hospital. And they have drive-bys where parents can come get their stuff. So Adler's letter says, okay, that was good, but we need authorization to give them breakfast and lunch in one day. Because now you're making them go twice a day. Somebody has to go over there twice a day. It's some kind of rule that the state says you can't provide, I don't know, some kind of innocuous legal thing that says you can't go give a handout meal to the man. So he's asking Abbott to allow him to go waive that rule so they can just go give them out breakfast and lunch. And the next time is going to be real delivery.
You know the worst idea out of Austin, what they have proposed is passing an ordinance that negates the obligation of people to pay taxes.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Well, you can't do that.
Isn't it like illegal taking from the property owner?
Just intervening in this, in an existing contract. And the government can,
That's what you're asking. Home delivery of these.
Well, see, it's, they
Yeah,
had
you're
talked
making-
about
you're
maybe
making
a
a
bus
clearance to
taking
release
it and around
striking
the
that
bus
ordinance.
stop, but they're just taking them to one location and they just pick up both things. But the reason why they do the free lunch and the free breakfast in San Marcos is because of the population of the low poverty level students that go there.
yeah, well, and you know, they do it statewide, like, if I wanted to during the summer, I could take my kids by the school they go to, take a breakfast.
But you know what, it's not, I mean, and too, 'cause I see both sides of it, 'cause I see what they serve at the school, and then I announce it every morning after the fed and the Texas fed. But then also my husband, he delivers for the USDA to the cafeterias, and the food is like
registration for the
At least they're getting something. And then what we did too at our school is like we started selling t-shirts, and then all of that, we don't have a PTO or PTA, and with all of that money, we give all students food bags, hygiene items, hoodies if they need it, that's how we're able to buy all the students.
Every fall and spring, you have whoever the seniors in economics class sell t-shirts, bumper stickers, scarves, and microwave.
Hey, y'all don't hate on me if y'all see my toilet paper post on selling later on. I'm kidding.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you see that? No. I'll see y'all later.
But really, when you post, say, Sonia, when you post, council will reveal our list will wipe your problems away.
Hey, you know what? That's a good one. I'm gonna have to use that.
All right, tomorrow.
Tomorrow was, meeting with my company, and they sent us Williamson County state on there. One thing it does is that it says description of what it has to do. Is that property line
It's got a very broad.
I want to interpret.
But, again, you can use for simple activities. This is all tied back.
It's not really enforceable.
Now, listen.
Well, no, this is exactly what Austin does talk about hiking and biking, exercise, safety,
Yeah, and it's
people didn't do it. So, the discussion with Harry is you would be responsible for telling those young men to leave and go home. We had a couple of families agree going to go fishing. That's not an essential activity. That would be
I mean, in this black, I don't think that really Caldwell County should put in place such a stringent limitation on essential activities, because they're not going to be facing the vast number of people in Austin. I mean, quite frankly, Austin, the ways the county should swap those orders. And I drafted one of those to stay.
Are you looking at Martindale, would we need to pass a ordinance, or would it just be applied to the county?
Well, what I wanted to do, whatever they pass in the county, we got everyone here, because of the way we got the structure.
Because Rumple's just passed one, they have their ordinance on this.
He sit out the week in the county. So, one of the things I want to do together is that, residents need to be better defined. The better defined. And